Alright everyone, today we'll be looking at a lineup of actors who could be in Jurassic World 4 thanks to the knowledge of previous statements, the new director David Leitch, and a Jurassic World 4 release date of July 2nd, 2025. So strap in, let's start with Paul Mescal-Williams, aka Darius Bowman from Camp Cretaceous and the brand new series Chaos Theory. Now we know he could be appearing in a future movie because it was referred to in an article a couple of years ago that the directors would love to have him in a movie, and I think it only makes sense as him being one of the main stars of Camp Cretaceous. But speaking of a main star, let's talk about Jenna Ortega, another character in Camp Cretaceous, one of the main six. We'll go over all of them, but Jenna Ortega, with a recent rise in fame, I think could really help boost the movie to a different audience, maybe, to get those numbers higher. And we know Universal loves money, otherwise they wouldn't be making another Jurassic movie, right? So I think we could get Darius, Brooklyn, and next up Ryan Potter, aka Kenji Kon from the series. Now I think it's highly likely we see Ryan or Kenji Kon in the movie, especially if Darius is in it, and that is because at the end of Camp Cretaceous, Kenji ends up living with Darius because his dad goes off to jail, yada yada yada. So I think it's highly likely we could see those three. And then the next character is Sean Giambrone's character, Ben Pincus. This is because he has been confirmed for the new series Chaos Theory, and I think what's more than likely to happen is that this new Chaos Theory series will definitely lead into the new movie, because it's rare that they make series after a movie's happened unless it's to tie into a future movie after that. But another actor from Camp Cretaceous is Rainy Rodriguez, aka Sammy Gutierrez, which is one of the main ones. And whilst it's not 100% confirmed she is in Chaos Theory, it's more than likely because she appears in a Lego set that just came out this year that might be for the Chaos Theory sets. And then the last Camp Cretaceous character we have to talk about is Kausa Mohammed, aka Yasmina Fadula, who is in Camp Cretaceous. We have absolutely no confirmation she's coming back at all. Same with Jenna Ortega's character, but I thought because Jenna Ortega's higher in fame, that would rank her really high up. But because there's no confirmation anywhere, you know, with all the other characters besides Jenna Ortega's, we have a rough idea they could be coming back, but we don't know about Yasmina. So possibly if the other campers return. But next up, let's speak about DeWanda Wise's character from Jurassic World Dominion, aka Kayla Watts. So her story was kind of just left on open, right? She got a new plane. What's she going to do with that plane? Are we going to figure out future movies? Is she going to be a hero? Is she going to be, you know, kind of an anti-hero? But speaking of anti-heroes, let's talk about an actual villain. Ditchin Lockman's character, Soyona Santos from Dominion. I heard a lot of people want spin-off stories from Kayla Watts and Soyona Santos. This could really lead into a Malta story or something to do with the Atrociraptors. We know those two were quite heavily involved with the Atrociraptor scene, so I would love to see them come back. But a comeback I would more than love to see is William H. Macy's character from Jurassic Park 3, aka you know him as Paul Kirby. I know there's either a lot of hate for this character or a lot of love just for the nostalgia and stuff. I know the wife Amanda Kirby is not liked as much, but I think Paul Kirby would be so funny to see come back. He was such a goofy, fun character. And on the Dinotrack website, we saw Kirby Painted Tile Plus. So could that be hinting that's a company we'll see in a future movie? We'll have to wait and see. But another comeback from an old movie I'd love to see is Julianne Moore's character, aka Sarah Harding, which was in Malcolm's Flame. You know, he had a thing with her. So I just think it would be awesome to have her return. She was a very good character, and she did state she wanted to return for a movie if asked. Another person in relation to Ian Malcolm's character I think could return is the actor of Vanessa Lee Chester, who played Kelly Malcolm, which was Ian Malcolm's daughter in The Lost World. And I think if Sarah Harding is returning, right, maybe she could be a mother figure of Kelly Malcolm if Jeff Goldblum's character and Sarah Harding are still together. You know, I just think it's perfect opportunity. But let's move on to some completely random stuff so you probably would not have guessed who could be in the next movie, which is Bryan Cranston. So you may know him from Breaking Bad. That's where I know him from, amongst a couple of other things like Godzilla, Kung Fu Panda 3. But he does some pretty shady stuff in that, but let's ignore that. What I'm talking about here, why he's in this movie, is because in an interview he was in with Bryce Dallas Howard, he said he loves the Jurassic movies and would love to be a part of them. So fingers crossed we can get him. And someone else who's a friend of Bryan Cranston, I think could be joining him, is a person called Bob Odenkirk. This character plays Saul Goodman in the Breaking Bad series that Bryan Cranston is in, and he's also in a movie called Nobody, which was produced by David Leitch, who is directing Jurassic World 4. I'm just quickly interrupting because David Leitch is no longer going to be the director for Jurassic World 4, and I was going to talk about how the upcoming people could be linked to him, but I still want to make those points in the video because I think maybe Universal could have gotten him as a director because he had ties to those people and they wanted to get those people in on the franchise. So I still think they're worth talking about. So let's get right back to it, shall we? Another friend of them is Aaron Paul. There's no specific reason for this. He plays Jesse in Breaking Bad. I just think having three of them in this movie, as some shady people like Black Marketeers or something because they were shady in the Breaking Bad series, would just be funny to have all three of them. But let's move on to the next person on the list, which is Ryan Gosling. So literally me, they could have me playing in the movie, but no. This is because David Leitch, who is the director of Jurassic World 4, is directing a movie that Ryan Gosling is in, so obviously he has him in his contacts and stuff. They're doing a movie together, but I just think could possibly be in the movie considering David Leitch is directing that and directing the new movie, so bring him on over. Another one that he directed was Bullet Train, which is the character of Ryan Reynolds, which I should say he was actually in Deadpool 2 more, which David Leitch also directed. So I just think, having two Ryans, because they get mixed up all the time, it would be so funny to have them on screen together, say as like dino trainers or something, would be so funny to me. But the next one up, an actual actor from Bullet Train, because Ryan Reynolds was hardly in that, is Brad Pitt. I think it would be cool to see Brad Pitt as some sort of, money corporate villain in the movie. I just think it would work pretty well. Worked with David Leitch before. So I just think this is a perfect opportunity to get all these guys together. Am I right? I just think it would be so cool. But moving on, we have Keanu Reeves. I know I'm going crazy with this list, but this is because David Leitch also directed John Wick, and we know the main character of John Wick is Keanu Reeves, and Keanu Reeves is very loved at the moment. I think if they want to get this movie to do very well, get some good actors who can promote this movie, and I think, the people I'm mentioning who are connected to David Leitch could be very good for this. But let's move on to The Rock. This is because he was in a David Leitch movie that was directed by him called Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw, which is also a Universal movie. And at one point, Fast and Furious, we thought it was all going to tie into Jurassic. We were so scared. Thankfully it didn't, but considering this is an action movie, we're a little scared again. But speaking of Fast and Furious Hobbs and Shaw, let's talk about Jason Statham. Was in The Meg. I would love to see his character Jonas Taylor in this movie. Did you guys enjoy this video? Make sure to watch my previous video up here, and I'll see you later. Bye everyone.